Students. So today we are happy to have Dr. Gandhi to interact with you. And Dr. Gandhi is the director of Potential and Concept Academy. As he's looking at, he is in the field for almost for long years, almost 15 years. So then we are happy to have Dr. Gandhi with us today to interact with you, and especially in the field of trust management. Because you know the stress you have, sometimes you will be overloaded with your studies and with other practical problems with what you face in your life, how to deal with it, how to overcome with it. So now Dr. Gandhi is going to interact with you. So now I hand over back to Dr. Gandhi, and now the time is yours.
Thank you so much, Father. Thanks for the introduction. And thank you, sister, for the arrangements. And anyways, I'm so sorry, guys, from your regular curriculum. So I have disturbed you guys for some time. But I'll make sure that the time that you are giving me, I'll definitely utilize it to at least deliver something which is really important for you. Right? It definitely will help you to shape your career sometimes. Definitely. So, everybody talks about stress, stress management. So have you ever thought from where do we actually get this stress from? Do actually there any word or feeling like stress, or it is a myth that we always feel that I have stress? Is it a myth or it is actually existing? Does stress exist? You are wrong. Stress never exists. Stress is something that we feel. Stress is something which we feel. Stress is what? If you look at physics, then physics stress is force per area. So there is certain area called brain where you apply some force. It can be sometimes you apply the force, sometimes externally your parents apply the force, sometimes your teachers apply the force, sometimes your peer groups apply the force. So it can be anything unless and until this force is taken by this area called brain, it is in stress. So your brain is under your control. Even though you have so many influences around you, if you do not put any pressure or allow this force to enter into this area, there is no certain word basically called stress exists. It is a myth. Stress is a myth. And if this myth is existing for any student, and what could be the possible reasons for it? Let us say, today you came to school on time with full uniform, with your ID card, and you are very calm in the school. Yesterday you have done all the works that were given in the school and you're all ready. You studied whatever they asked you to study today. Or they say like we'll be conducting an examination, or we will have a oral viva for you, and you're all ready. Your school is over. Your mom gave you a box. You completed your box. There is nothing left. So you go home, and once you go home, you play for some time, and then come back, you fresh up, and make a prayer of whatever you believe, right? Then sit and then think of what are the works that I have for tomorrow, complete them, sit with the family for dinner, have some fun, have some good discussions, go to bed, happily sleep, and you know what time you have to wake up because you already set your alarm, and you wake up in the morning. You tell me, सुनने के लिए अच्छा लग रहा है सब? हाँ कि ना? हाँ, सुनने को बहुत अच्छा लगता है ये सब. Do you know why do we feel so happy when everything is so organized? Because life isn't messy. Because you have planned everything in your life. When you plan your time, when you plan your works, when you are so organized, here you have time for your sport or whatever, whether it is sport or any kind of cultural activities or co-curricular, extracurricular activities, other than your education that you like. You are giving time for it. Family, you are giving time for family. School, learning happens here. So you are actually getting, you are getting learned here something. So everything in your life is actually happening. But if everything is happening and you are not involved in it, if everything is happening and you are not involved in it or enjoying it, there comes this myth called stress. Then mathematics, oh my goodness, it is tough. Mathematics is tough? No. She says no. 2 into 2, how much? 4 into 4, how much? 16 into 16, how much? This is the difference. When somebody asks you 2 into 2, you're so quick. But if I get a student of class 3 or 4 and I ask the same question, he or she will also be so much as quick as you are. And then when I ask you 4 into 4, if I bring a class 5 or 6 student here, he or she will be equally as quick you are, they will be. But 16 into 16 is of your level. Where you should be able to say 256. Quick answer. If I ask you 32 into 32, so what do you do in general? When I ask you 32 into 32, you say 3, 2, 3, 2, 2 into 2, 4, 2 into 3, 6, 3 into 6, 3, 3 into 3, 9, so 1024. This is how you do. This is what you do in class 4, 5, multiplication. And if you do the same thing when you go to class 8, 9, 10, what did you learn actually? Where is evolution in you? There is no evolution. If somebody asks you what is 32 square, immediately you have to think, okay, now at this age of class 8, 9, 10, I learn a plus b whole square. When I know a plus b whole square, 32 square, I divide into 30 plus 2 whole square. So 30 is a perfect square. So 10 square 100, 20 square 400, 30 square 900, 14 square 1600. It is like much easier to remember. So 30 square plus 2 square plus 2 into 30 into 1024. It is easy. But the process is, it is not about how quick you are doing. It is about how much you learn. How many different ways of learning happening. Otherwise, 32, I can say 32 as 2 to the power of 5. Am I right? 2 into 2 into 2 into 2 into 2. 2 to the 4, 4 to the 16, 4 to the 8, 8 to the 16, 16 to the 32. So 2 power 5. Am I right? So I said like 32 into 32. So 2 to the power of 5 into 2 to the power of 5. Again, there is another formula which you learned in 8, 9, 10. A to the power of m into a to the power of n is equal to a to the power of m plus n. So 2 to the power of 5 plus 5 is 2 to the power of 10. 2 to the power of 10 is 1024 again. So you can solve this question in so many different directions, like 32 into 32 simple multiplication, 30 plus 2 whole square, 40 minus 8 whole square, a plus b whole square is over and a minus b whole square is done. And other than that, a to the power of m and a to the power of n base, exponential process. So one question and multiple directions, and this all should happen in 1 minute. And when this happens, when this kind of learning happens, you enjoy your studies. Then this myth called stress doesn't exist. It doesn't exist actually. Parents tell you. Parents tell you every time, why you are not scoring, what happened? Look at their child, look at their child, look at their child. So you feel like, yeah, why are you comparing? talk about me. Why are you comparing? Am I right or not? Look at her father. He never compares. Yes or no? But why are you comparing? But you are comparing. Look at her father. He is not comparing. So he is a good father. But father, you are comparing me with that child. So you are already doing the same, but you do not want your father to do it. How bad we are. See, the world is actually competitive. The world has become so competitive. If we do not, there is a saying of Darwin. Darwin said, survival of the fittest. Am I right or not? Have you heard this word? There is a word called survival of the fittest. I have a grasshopper. I have a, what do you say, a frog. I have a snake. I have a hawk. Now tell me what happens. Grasshopper will be eaten by frog, frog by snake by hawk. So survival of the fittest. At the end, who survives? Why? Fit it is. So this is competition everywhere. You take organisms, you take populations, you take human, you take examinations. Everywhere there is definitely some amount of competition existing. So to stand in the competition, you always need to understand your learning attributes and where you stand. And you have to slowly start polishing yourself. This is what whether your parents or your teachers or anybody always expects from you. Their approach might be wrong. Their approach might be wrong. You might not like it, but their intention is very pure, just to see you best. So then, in what way they are wrong? A mother or father, or a father or sister sitting, or a teachers, a group of teachers sitting here, they expecting you to be the best among all the other kids. Are they greedy? Are they greedy? No, right? So the problem here is we take things in a different way and put some pressure on this area. So we are actually doing something wrong and creating a myth called stress. If there is no stress, there is no need of management of stress. You got my point? If there is no stress, there is no management of stress. So to manage this myth not to come to you, what you have to do? Stay organized. Stay planned. Sometimes, Sundays, you wake up late. Am I right? Fact. Everybody does that. It's okay. You can say. Am I right or not? Sundays, we sometimes wake up late. Okay, let us talk about your 2020 April, May when you have lockdown. You used to sleep at late night and you used to wake up in the late mornings. When you wake up in the late morning and sleep at the late night, and after waking up, you skip your breakfast because you never wake up by breakfast time. You wake up generally at lunch time, and then you have your lunch, and then again sit some mobile classes, of course, online class. So we never give so much of focus, and then you don't know how the time vanished. The day is over. Am I right or not? And now, when you come to school in the morning, when you go in the afternoon, what you feel is the day length is so long. Am I right? And your Sundays goes very fast, and rest of the days goes very slow. How many of you feel that? This is a symbol of laziness. What better? This is the basic symbol of laziness. That means your Sundays are very unproductive. The Sundays that you have are most unproductive. Wake up, go for cycling in the morning, come back, help mom in cooking, go for prayer, come back, sit with books. If you are not interested to read something that is happening in the school, that's fine. Learning doesn't mean that you have to learn only from school books. Take the newspaper, read the newspaper, learn about society around, or take some good book, read the book, come back, give the knowledge to your parents or your friends or somebody. Today I read something like this and it was very interesting. people start enjoying it, and you start enjoying transferring your knowledge. Then you start realizing when you give some facts to someone and people enjoys that, then it gives you a kind of pleasure and also some curiosity to repeat the cycle again. Chalo, they enjoyed it. So tomorrow I'll read something else and explain them. Am I right or not? Just like someday you answered something in class and your teacher says, come on, just clap for her. Clap for this boy. Everybody claps. So what happens is in the next class, you will be eager. कि कब question पूछेंगे and I should answer. I get the appreciation again. So this is what life is all about. Life or a human tendency always is about getting appreciated. It can be your teachers. If your teachers are there, they work hard. And someday, father calls them and say, amazing, you're doing a great job. It made their day. It really makes their day. They feel like so happy, relaxed, and thinking that whatever energy we are putting on the kids are in the right direction. So I got the appreciation. It is not about them, even father, even me, anybody existing here. A simple word of appreciation makes you get, more and more motivated. So that's what I'm saying. What I really wanted to tell you is, do not run behind this myth which is not existing. Rather than that, be organized, be planned, enjoy things. When you are organized, your time is in your hands. Time is everything. Time is everything. If you have time in your hands, you are the richest person in this earth. If you have time. If you do not have time in your hands, you tell me one thing, you went for an examination. You have 3 hours of time and you have 3 questions to write and you are like a king. You have 3 minutes of time, you still have 3 questions to answer. Now you are the beggar. And please, ma'am, 1 more minute, let me complete this. Am I right or not? So that's what your time defines how organized you are, how disciplined you are. So that's what I tell you. So do not run behind this myth, please. This is a myth. It doesn't exist at all. This doesn't exist at all. And next thing, can I pen or this? A different one. Your pen, please. आपका pen लीजिए. हाँ. Let us say, this science is really so messy to remember. Let us talk about nervous system. Okay, let us talk about nervous system. There is white material present in a sac and a protected area called skull, which is very strong, hard. And if you cut open it, you can see white color, shiny material called brain, which is covered by layers called meninges. The brain contains a fluid called cerebrospinal fluid. Without the fluid, the brain will not function. And brain continues as a long, slender vertebral column, which contains cerebrospinal fluid again. Without the fluid, the vertebral column doesn't actually sense anything. And this spinal cord is actually protected by what? Vertebral column. Too messy to remember, right? Am I right or not? Let us make it little interesting. Can we? Let me take this pen. Okay. So what did I tell you? Skull, which is very tough. If I cut open, I can see white brain. Am I right or not? So I am opening the skull, and the skull is very tough to break. When I open the skull, can I see the white shiny brain or not? Can you? Can you? And the brain is covered by what? The layers called meninges. Look at these layers. I'm opening the layers so that you can see the brain much clearer. Brain contain what? Fluid called cerebrospinal fluid. You tell me without this fluid, this brain works. So the brain works? No. And brain continues as long spinal cord. Yes or no? This is long or not? And spinal cord also contain Spinal cord also contain cerebrospinal fluid. Without the fluid, spinal cord doesn't have any value. And spinal cord is protected by what? A tough vertebral column. My vertebral column, I have my spinal cord, cerebrospinal fluid, I have my brain covered by meninges, and then you can't see your brain because it is protected by your skull. Who said science is something which you have to buy out? Something which we buy out just before some time. We are just learning in a different approach. Aren't we? Aren't we? So that is the difference. Thank you. So that is the difference. It is all about how you look at things. It is all about how you perceive things. If you don't understand that, then education becomes a tough thing. Education becomes very uninteresting. Okay, let us. There might be some students. Thank you. There might be some students thinking that, sir, I study, but sir, I don't remember anything. Am I right or not? Genuinely. And then step down. I see a door. Get out of the door. Go straight. You can find a step. Get down. Then take right. Walk. This is how you have to demonstrate me how I should go to the railway station. Please. You can correct him. Yeah. First, we have to go out of the door, then we have to walk straight and take left turn and go out of and walk straight again, and we have to again go left and take straight, and then we have to move out of the school main gate, and then we have to take right turn and move straight. Then do you have any landmarks there while going straight so that I don't forget the road? We after moving out of the school campus, we get the field. We have to go straight from the road, and then we find Kendra Vidyalaya school. Then we have to move left and go straight again. Then the officers' colony. Wait, I asked him a question, right? Why are you all thinking of the same answer? Why are you following him? You are following him or not? When he said left, you are thinking, left, right, left. When he said like walk straight, you are like, walk straight, yes, yes. When he said Kendri Vidyalaya, you said, you imagined it, right? Am I right or not? See, that is what I said. Thank you so much. That's what I say. You never forget this road just because this is in your imagination. Am I right or not? This is in your imagination, or you practiced it multiple times that you remember each and every single thing, a single bit in this way. Am I right or not? Everybody were trying to correct him. उसको पकड़ने के लिए आप लोग वेट कर रहे थे कि ये एक मिस्टेक बोलेगा तो आप लोग पकड़ने के लिए नहीं राइट नहीं लेफ्ट am I right or not? The question was asked to him, why are you thinking? So somewhere not only you, father was also thinking. Somewhere your teachers are also thinking. Ma'am, am I right? Absolutely. This is called imagination. Power of imagination. Unless and until when a teacher is teaching you something, if you don't imagine things, it will never get into your brain. It will never get into your brain. If you wanted to make it to go into brain, you have to visualize things. Just like a movie. You watch a movie 3 years back, or when you are a child, you don't forget the movie. Even today, when I ask you the story, you tell me in sequence, and that too, somewhere dialogue, songs, just because you felt it, you imagined it. So education is also same. Unless and until you don't feel education, unless and until you do not imagine education, unless and until you won't visualize things, you can never enjoy the proper sense of education. The problem with most of the kids is they are very robotic. They are very robotic and mechanical. Robotic and mechanical is, if I tell them, get up, turn back, walk towards the end and come back. Fast, little fast, slow down. Fast, slow down, turn back, run, slow, walk, slow, sit. This is robotic. He did not ask me, sir, why should I go? What is the reason? What will happen if I go? I became a remote and I am switching him to increase his pace, decrease his pace, just like we sit in front of a TV, we change the channel, or we increase the volume and decrease the volume. That's what he was doing. A simple thing. So that is what you guys are doing. When somebody tells you, you tell me, how many of you are in class 10? Okay, great. Who discovered sea route to India? Vasco da Gama. In which year? 1498. Fantastic. So, please lift the hands whoever answered this. Everybody, including the teachers, please. No issues. Because I saw a map saying 1498 Vasco da Gama and more number of kids. How many of you know the same answer? Please, you can lift the hands. अभी सबको डर लग रहा है कि कोई तो कुछ बोलेगा नहीं यार I'll appreciate you. I'll appreciate you. I want to appreciate. How many of you answered it? How many of you know that 1498 Vasco da Gama discovered sea route to India? How many of you know it? Okay. So your teacher taught you, right? In the classroom? You noted? By hearted? तो तुमको क्या लगता है 1498 के पहले इंडिया को सी रूट नहीं है? Do you have sea route to India before 1498 or not? Yes or no? Then how come somebody says Vasco da Gama discovered sea route to India? Why did you question your teacher? India taught the world how to sail. And before Vasco da Gama do this in 1498, in 3rd century BC itself, we have Silk Route from China to, Europe. China to Gangtok to, Maharashtra, Arabian Sea, then to Red Sea to Suez Canal to Mediterranean Sea to Europe. This is basically called Silk Route. They used to take silk from China and they have to, transfer it. Later half of the time, India also started sending the goods. Or there is a silk called muslin silk, one of the most costliest silk. The people in the Europe, they used to wear it as, what do you say, a token of richness. They used to wear it in Europe. The muslin silk of the Karnataka of India. Even today, Karnataka is like high silk producing state in India. Right? So now the point is, when it is there already in 3rd century BC, and how come people are saying Vasco da Gama discovered the sea route, and you did not question? This is the bad thing. You should raise a question. So if already there is sailing existing in India earlier, and why do we call, and why he has to discover the sea route to India? कभी सोचा आपने सी रूट इंडिया को डिस्कवर क्यों करना था उसको? Have you ever thought? पता है किसी को? बोलूं मैं? ठीक है. छोटा सा स्टोरी है. You want to listen? During 1400s, there was a tribe called Huns. They were there in Mongolia. At that point of time, Suez was not a canal. Suez was not a canal. Suez was 116 kilometers land territorial area. So whenever goods come from Red Sea, to transfer from Red Sea to Mediterranean Sea, the people staying in Suez, they used to take some money and transfer the goods. But suddenly what happened? These Huns, they came, they occupied Suez Canal, Suez, the area Suez. And so suddenly what happened? The exports and imports from Asian countries to the Europe completely stopped. At that time, Europe was completely depending on resources for the Asian countries. So they started getting into a lot of crisis. Then what European people did was they called all the sailors of Europe and they said we want to rediscover the sea route to India, not this route because Hans are there. So find out a new sea route. Then what happened? 1492 there was a guy called Fernando Diaz. He thought about Pythagoras theorem. Pythagoras theorem is AC square is equal to AB square plus BC square. So India is here, Europe is here. So this is my hypotenuse. So he constructed this and then he said like if I travel from here to the southern part of Africa and from there if I travel I can reach to India. So this is the way he imagined his sea route and came to the southern part of Africa where the seashore was very rough, very very rough. When the seashore was very rough, all these ships he got were like completely drawn into the sea, and he named that place as Cape of Good Hope and went back to Europe. After him, Christopher Columbus came. Due to monsoonal winds, he went to Red Indians or West Indies, and people say America was discovered by Columbus. Am I right? If America was discovered by Columbus, why the name of America is not Columbus? South Columbus and North Columbus. Why? Because his discovery was confined to only Red Indians, West Indies. Later, there was another sailor called Amerigo Vespucci. He traveled from there and he went to West Indies, from there to Southern America and North America, and then he said there were two continents, not one. So North America and South America, Amerigo Vespucci, his name. They have taken his name and named this continent on behalf of his name. And thereafter, Vasco da Gama came to Cape of Good Hope. From Cape of Good Hope, he met a Gujarati merchant. He met a Gujarati merchant, and that Gujarati merchant shown him the route to travel to Kerala, Calicut. And that time there was a king called Jamorin II who belonged to Chera dynasty. Chera means Kerala Putra. There were like Chora, Chela, Pandyan dynasties. Out of them, Cherans are called basically, the Kerala Putras are called Cherans. So it belongs to Chera dynasty where there was a king called Jamorin II and then he traveled there. Now the question should be, sir, what this Gujarati merchant is doing there? Am I right or not? This is something which you always have to get in your minds, asking questions. Now I tell you what this Gujarati merchant is doing there. When I say Africa, the first thing that hits your brain is diamonds. Africa is famous for diamonds. And this Gujarat, and that time also Africa was very famous for diamonds, and diamonds used to come from Gujarat to Surat. To Surat, because Surat is the first place in the world where the diamonds are carved. Diamonds are carved. For the carving the diamonds which were produced in Africa, they used to come to Surat. So this Gujarati merchant was there. Now you tell me, आपको गुजराती मर्चेंट का फेस दिखा कि नहीं दिखा? हाँ कि ना? आपको मानसूनल विंड्स में कोलंबस गया दिखा कि नहीं दिखा? हाँ कि ना बेटा? केप ऑफ गुड होप में फर्नांडिस का उसका कंप्लीट शिप्स सी के अंदर चला गया ना? Am I right? See, this is called learning. Learning should not be blunt. Learning should never be blunt. Learning should always be about gaining proper information. Do not satisfy yourself until and unless you answer all the questions that arise in your brain. Never. According to me, this is learning. Because when I was studying this, then I got so many questions in mind. Then I went to the central library. Then I started searching for different books. Luckily, I found two books. One book name was Natural History, written by Pliny, where these things were written, and there was another book which was covering the same statements, and that book was written by a sailor from Alexandria. A sailor from Alexandria, and the book name is Periplus of Erythraean Sea. Periplus of, again, there was a question, why Periplus of Erythraean Sea? Oh, in your blood, red blood cells are called as what? Erythrocytes. Red Sea, Erythraean Sea, erythrocytes. Acha, fine. So this is how you have to always satisfy yourself. Unless and until knowledge is not complete, you will not get that satisfaction. So please keep asking questions and get the proper answers. If not, go search for the answers. Get the answers. Trust me, you get a lot of satisfaction. You tell me today, when you leave this session and when you go out of this session, how many of you feel so happy that today I learned something which I did not know earlier? How many of you will be really happy? That's it. I'm successful. I'm happy. This is what I'm here for. This is what I'm here for. And this makes you get one cute smile on your face. आप किसी को यार, am I right or not? अरे यार वही तो देखना चाहते हैं हम लोग. That is what we all work for. That is what I am here from Guwahati to, here traveled early in the morning 5:30, just to see that cute smiles on your face. When you feel like आज कुछ नया सीखा. Every day when you enter your school, and once the teacher comes in and goes out, just stay happy and say, आज कुछ सीख लिया मैंने. Thank you. Thanks to yourself for opening your brain to learn something. Thanks to those teachers who are imparting knowledge to you. This is very important. If you do not have that, probably your learning is not happening in a proper way. Then immediately you should consult your father or your teachers and ask them, ma'am, I'm not enjoying the class. Why? There might be some problem with me. Because when eventually some 10-15 students of the class are enjoying, why not me? So the problem is not with the class, the problem is with me. Please diagnose me. The moment you approach people, the moment you go and talk to them, share your problems, you feel in your journey of learning, you are never alone. There is so many people who holds you tight, who don't let you fall down, so-called your teachers. Couple of days back, you have celebrated your Teachers' Day, and you have, shown your gratitude. Am I right or not? But the real gratitude is not about September 5th. You go and wish your teacher, saying Happy Teachers' Day, man. No. The real gratitude is every day once your teacher goes out of the class, say ki, thanks, man. Say to yourself, आज कुछ सीख लिया मैंने. Something new I have learned. Thanks a lot. You don't need to go and say it out. You say it here, it will be felt definitely by your teacher. Am I right, Father? Simple. If you start doing these all things, trust me, learning will never become robotic. Learning will never become robotic. Get up. Go there. Robotic. अभी बोला मैंने. बेटा आजा. This is not robotic. This is innocence. This is sheer innocence. Sit. Get up. Get up. 5 sit-ups. 5 sit-ups. Right. So why should I do? What mistake did I do? That I should do 5 sit-ups. It is good for your health. Sit. So this is all about the same. If somebody comes, listen one thing. I am not more intelligent than your teachers. I am not more concerned than your teachers about you. I am not more passionate than your teachers about you. I am just a passing cloud. Came, just covered you, shower some good what do you say drizzles, and you all have fun, enjoy it. But remember, the sky is your teachers here, which covers every time. So please understand the passion that they have for you. This is very important. If you do not understand the contribution of your teachers towards you, then probably you are no more called a student according to me. No more. Because the learning in you never exists. It never exists. Because for me, I was very crazy since my childhood. I was very crazy since my childhood. People keep asking me one question. What was the biggest motivation for you in your entire life? Probably I take other 10 minutes further. Can I? Am I boring? Can I continue for 10 minutes? Is it fine? Okay. I asked my parents. My friends asked me, or my students asked me, sir, what motivated you so much? Because I secured double gold medals and then All India second rank, then UPSC twice, and I went to play for India, and there were so many things. But my friends keep asking me, what was the biggest motivation for you? I tell you, the motivation was very small. Probably the achievements were bigger than the motivation, according to my friends. I answered them. When I was in class 10, there was a small competition of singing. I was the most worst singer of my class. And I used to have two Badmash friends with me. We three used to sit in the last row of the class. And then they said like, अरे गालो ना. I was like, हाँ ठीक है हो जाएगा. आप लोग बोल रहे हो तो गा लेंगे. Luckily, माइक खराब हो गया उस दिन. So our physical education trainer, he said, those who loudly sing will get a prize. Then my friends started singing like this. I said like, what? You have the louder voice in the class. Probably you get a prize. I was greedy. I said, I think so. Let me try it. So I sang. Of course, very bad. I came back and I said like, how was it? Say, bad. They said like, very bad. Thank you. And then, luckily, I sang very loud. Luckily, I got third prize. They gave me a glass, steel glass. I was in government school. I took the glass, I went home. My mom was stitching. She was a very hardworking lady. Very, 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 very hardworking lady. In fact, every woman are actually. More than men. So I went home. I told her, Mom, I won a prize today. Then she said like, seriously, what did you win? I said like, I won something. Show me. I showed it. Okay. Trust me, she was very tired. But the moment she saw a small achievement from my hand, she gave a beautiful smile. Beautiful smile. Till today, till today, she was the most gorgeous woman I have ever seen with a beautiful smile. And I decided that day I should see my mother's smile again and again, so I should have more and more achievements. That's it. I do not have any bigger motivation. Abdul Kalam never motivated me because I never seen him. I saw my mother, I saw my father working in front of my eyes very hard just to give us food, just to give us education. Where am I searching for inspiration? Where am I searching for motivation when I have already two amazing people working in front of me? So keep it open. And that was the biggest motivation for me. Whenever I achieve something, I give a video call and I say, Amma, today, I went, for example, I did this so and so, so and so. She's like, huh, is it? Amazing. That smile, once I see, I forget everything. And when you make your mothers happy, do you know what they feel? Always. They feel that 9 months I reared this baby. It was so tough for me. Back pain, bearing you in the belly, carrying the weights. day and night, and sometimes you kick. Whenever you kick, she smiles. Saying that, hey, he's kicking. Just imagine. And then after 9 months, so much pain she takes, delivers you, tears will be rolling out of her eyes, but the moment you come out, she look at you and she smiles and say, oh my God, it is worth. The pain I took is worth having. For that lady, if you achieve something in your life and give it as a token of gift, do you know what happens? That happy hormones that are produced in your mother's body will make her live for a month more or a day more. If you are a reason, at least if you are a reason to increase the lifespan of your mother for one day in your life, just with your achievements, that is the biggest success of your life. Don't you think so? So identify the real motto of life. लाइफ का एक्चुअल मीनिंग क्या है, यू शुड नो इट. तब जाके ये मिथ जो है ना बेटा, स्ट्रेस मैनेजमेंट, क्या स्ट्रेस डेवलप होगा? मुझे कभी स्ट्रेस नहीं हुआ था आज तक. आई नेवर फेल्ट स्ट्रेस. पढ़ाई, आई एंजॉयड एजुकेशन, सो आई नेवर फेल्ट स्ट्रेस. So what we actually do is, there are so many kids. जीतू सर, स्लाइड्स पे, लास्ट स्लाइड्स पे जाइए एक बार. Go to the last slides. Last please, 4 slides. 21 please. These guys are the IITians which are produced from us.